my friend slash Enneagram amateur expert, Jennifer Rhee.
Hello. I am not an expert. A really great book for people who are interested in the Enneagram. As beginners, I would really recommend that you read The Road Back to You. That's kind of where I got my start, so I would highly recommend.
What is the Enneagram?
The Enneagram is a personality typing system. The theory is that human behavior can be distilled into 9 core primal unconscious fears that we have that influence our behavior and what we do and what we don't do. So we all have all 9 fears, but there is usually 1 or 2 fears that are a little bit stronger. That specific fear is known as your type. When you have a fear, whether it's conscious or unconscious, you're going to try to do everything you can to avoid seeing the consequence of your fear like coming into fruition. I guess you could call it like coping mechanisms. The Enneagram is all about trying to uncover those things and make something unconscious conscious so that you can kind of work on your fears and work on realizing that these fears are actually not so scary. I think the Enneagram can be applied across all religions, like non-religions, any type of self-development. But for me personally, my understanding of the Enneagram is through the lens of my faith as a Christian. So everything that I say and everything Sophie says today is going to be from that lens.
Let's just talk about the 9 types. So she's gonna quiz me now. I'm not as knowledgeable, but you're gonna quiz me. Type 1.
What is their nickname too? Can you?
Okay, so she's gonna correct me when I'm wrong. But type 1 is called the perfectionist.
Nice.
And the basic fear driving that one is a fear of being imperfect or a fear of being evil. 2 is called the helper. Their core fear is being unloved.
Yeah.
Type 3 is the achiever.
Yeah.
Achiever. Their basic fear is being inherently like unworthy, especially in front of others.
Yeah, like they don't have any value.
Type 4, which is what I am, is the, what is it? The dramatic?
The individualist?
The individualist.
The dramatic?
The dramatic.
The drama queen.
The drama queen.
Just kidding.
No, it's real, it's true. Basic fear for that one is a fear of having like no identity, right? No identity and feeling
like no personal significance. Would you say
5.
that resonates with you?
No, I'm just kidding, it doesn't. Type 5 is the investigator. Basic fear is being incompetent or incapable, right? Type 6, the loyalist, their basic fear is of having no support, like no support systems and no people in their lives to help them. Yeah. The 7 is the enthusiast. Oh my god. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you're on a roll. You are doing so well.
It's because I studied. Okay, so I studied it really quickly before filming this. The enthusiast, their basic fear is of pain. Right?
Yeah, they fear their own internal pain or the deprivation of pleasure.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And then 8, the challenger. This type, their basic fear is being controlled. Type 9 is called the peacemaker. Really?
You're doing great.
Okay, the peacemaker, and as the name indicates, their fear is the peace being disrupted and of conflict.
Oh, great job! One cool thing that I love about the Enneagram is we have nicknames for them to help like people get into it to understand it better, but they're officially typed as numbers because numbers are neutral. They don't have subjective connotations associated with like words. There's no number that is inherently good or bad. There's no number that's inherently better than the other or worse than the other, despite what Sophie may believe, as you will probably see in future videos about her own number. These personality types are gender neutral, so they are for both men and women and affect them in the same way.
You can find it out by literally typing in on Google like Enneagram test, and you can answer the questions that are online, and then they'll give you like, oh, this is probably your type. But what I found most useful has been like getting a better understanding of the Enneagram as a whole, and not just my type necessarily, but getting a good understanding of all the different types, how they work in relation with each other. Usually you're able to know your type by your visceral reaction to the description or the fear, right? Because a lot of these fears are things that have been formed through your childhood and through your context or environments. When that fear is highlighted and kind of thrust in your face as, hey, like, is this what you're scared of? My reaction, and like I've seen this in other people too, is to be like, oh, I feel so exposed, and that's when you know that's your type.
Yeah. I went online and I took a quiz. I went to the Enneagram Institute's website, which I would also highly recommend, and I read about my type. My type is type 2. I read my description and I was horrified because it felt like my diary was online. My first thought was, oh my god, like I don't want my friends to read this. I don't want them to know I'm a type 2. Like this is so embarrassing. This is like revealing like my deepest fears and like it's revealing why
the motives behind
why I'm not about putting people in boxes. I hate it when people say like you're just trying to like label me, put me in boxes. That's not what I believe the Enneagram is. It actually helps you understand why you do certain things or think a certain way or feel a certain feeling, but those things are not who you are. Like the essence of who you are is separate from those things. And being able to kind of separate yourself in that way, like I said, like sets you free and allows you to like be more of your true self. This sounds really kooky and mystical, but like I'm cheesy. I have felt it in my own life. For Christians, at least, we view the Enneagram as the different ways that all of God's people are broken by sin. While God is perfect, we kind of believed, usually in childhood, we believed like a lie or a false understanding of ourselves that was not centered on Christ. Whenever your identity or your number one is something that is not Christ, then obviously that your life is going to be skewed in a certain way. The lovely thing about the Enneagram is that you can kind of face that and see your number and see how you've not put your identity in Christ. Like for me, I realized that I had put my whole identity and my whole worth and importance on other people accepting me instead of finding worth in God accepting me. Type 4s are very complex because 4s, they feel that they have no significant identity or like their own unique identity.
They try to forge
They
one.
try to create one instead of realizing they already have a unique identity that God gave them.
Yeah.
As you start to shift your fears and your motivations away from those broken things and towards God, you'll realize that actually, because I had this type, I have these strengths now as a 2 or as a 4 or any number. Like for Sophie, she's highly creative. She's like really, she's really attuned to and preoccupied with like creating interesting
A
works of
YouTube
art.
video
Yeah,
and for Jennifer, she's very in tune with other people's needs and her ability to like empathize and to be able to serve people. That loving heart. We would love to share all these details and all the nitty-gritty, but to put that all in this video would, number 1, overwhelm you, and number 2, overwhelm us. 3, it would make for this video to be so long that you wouldn't even click on it in the first place. So, we will have more videos for you. Like truly, there's an encyclopedia of information in her head. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for the rest of the videos that we're going to be releasing on the Enneagram. Thank you so much for watching.
Yes.
Bye! You wanna do this with me?
Should I?